And we are live. Everybody, welcome. How's everybody doing tonight? All right. I think we're working here. I think people can see me and hear me. I think we are in pretty good shape here. Charles D, welcome. So, this is just going to be a quick stream. More than anything, what I really wanted to do is test and make sure that the streaming still worked because a few weeks ago I tried to stream from my phone and I tried to stream from my laptop, and both times I got could not start stream error, and I never really got an explanation why that happened. So I wanted to make sure I could at least stream from here, so during the draft and during the pre draft mock draft simulator extravaganza, I'm able to at least go live. So it looks like I can. If you guys can see me and hear me, I guess we're good. Don't know why it wasn't working on my phone and my laptop, but looks like it is working. All right. So, welcome aboard, everybody. We're just going to stream for about an hour. I think we're just going to stream for an hour. It's just kind of like a test to make sure everything's good because I haven't streamed from OBS in a while. To YouTube, anyway. Like, I have streamed quite a bit to Twitch through OBS, and that's been totally fine. I just wanted to make sure it still worked through YouTube. It would obviously be awful if we got to draft day and then I found out, oh, I can't stream from OBS anymore for some reason. So, gonna go over a few things. Gonna go over a few things that I want to make sure people are aware of. I'll wait for people to gather up, but basically, I think this is already pretty well known at this point. I think you guys mostly know this, but here is the plan. Sometime, well, okay. First of all, first and foremost, we have two more draft prospect video analysis videos coming out tomorrow, and then we have three coming out the next day, and then that's it. So we're gonna have all of our draft prospect analysis videos done on the 23rd, unless the Seahawks pull in a couple more top 30 visits of guys that I haven't looked at. Like if we do a top 30 visit with Paris Johnson Jr. and Anton Harrison and some other guys I haven't looked at yet, I'll probably do one more video just to look at those guys, just as like a cleanup video. But we only have four top 30 visits left, and odds are very good they're going to be used on guys who we already evaluated. So we are probably going to be done at that point with 83 videos on pre-draft prospect analysis. I have put together a playlist. I don't know how useful this is going to be to people, but I did put together a playlist of every video I made over the last month, plus that was evaluating draft prospects, all the way back to when I started with nose tackles like a month ago. So if you go to my channel and check the playlists, you can see the playlist I just put up. So if you're somebody who wants to maybe rewatch all those videos, or you're behind on those videos and you want to watch all of them without having to click a bunch, you just start the playlist and it starts rolling, and it keeps rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling until it's done. So maybe that'll help somebody out there. I don't know. But in total, it's going to be 83 videos. 83 videos, and about, I think it was something like 16 and a half hours of stuff. So it's going to take, you'd have to listen to it all day. You'd have to listen to it all day to get through the whole thing. But you could. And yeah, that playlist is there for anybody who wants to use it. Any interest to move Fant for more cap room? Potentially. It depends on who we draft, right? We don't have to make a decision on it until basically day 3 of the draft, because we're not going to get a pick before day 3. So we could draft Darnell Washington and then go get go trade Fant after that. And you might not get anything real for Fant. You might get like a 7th round pick, but that's fine. Is DTR one of the top 30 visits? No, not yet. We haven't met with any quarterbacks. Here's the thing to understand, though. The quarterbacks, you might have met them at the combine. You might have met the quarterbacks at the combine. And if you feel like you got all the information you needed from that, then there's no need to do a top 30 visit. I think generally speaking, you use your top 30 visits on guys who you like, but you have questions about. Like, you're not going to use a top 30 visit on a guy that you're already 100% in love with and you feel like you completely understand. Um, which is why I'm a little surprised that we used a top 30 visit on Will Anderson. But maybe we do feel like there's a question or two about him. Maybe. All right. So that's basically going to be the plan for the next 2 days. We're going to get all those videos out. And then the day after those final videos go live, I'm going to do one of two things, depending on my schedule. Either I am going to do my final mock draft and I'm going to do my best to give what I think is the most realistic possible outcome here. Something that as many people as possible are going to like, although this is not a draft where you're going to be able to please everybody. I already understand that. Believe me. Like, whoever I pick at number 5, some people are going to, like 30% of my viewers are going to be like, this sucks. I hate this. I'm turning this off. Da 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 da. Like, that can't be helped. This is not. Okay, we don't have the number 1 overall pick in the Andrew Luck year. Like, if we had the number 1 overall pick and we needed a quarterback and it was the Andrew Luck year, nobody would say anything about that pick. Like, everybody would be like, yeah, let's get Andrew Luck. Like, there might be one person out of 1,000 that goes like, hey, you picked Andrew Luck. I'm turning this live stream. I'm turning this video off. But no, this year is just going to be one of those years where we have to accept and acknowledge the fact that there are going to be a lot of people who are unhappy with whoever we pick, whatever we do. Some people are going to dislike it. So it's either going to be the final mock draft or it's going to be the mock draft simulator stream party. And I'm going to make that determination tomorrow on which one I do first. We're going to do both. But basically, I'm going to go live on YouTube, and then for a few hours, we're just going to go through mock draft simulators. And I'm going to come up with the best mock draft scenarios that I can. We're going to do PFF. We're going to do the Draft Network. We're going to do any place that utilizes mock draft simulators. There are a bunch of different sites. Some, not as many as there used to be, I think, but there are still a lot of sites. I do subscribe to PFF, so I know that most of their functionality is behind a paywall, but I can still access it, no problem. And then at that point, once we're clear of all that, because tomorrow's Saturday, the cleanup videos are Sunday, and then we have the mock draft simulator stream party, then it's the day before the draft. So the day before the draft is just going to be a video where I introduce the way my draft day streams are going to work, because I'm going to do 3 of them, obviously. So understand that that day is mostly going to be for that. Maybe I'll make another video where I address the final bevy of rumors related to the Seahawks. There's going to be, maybe we do one final video where I like go over, okay, this is what people are saying. But understand that I don't really care what people are saying that much right now. Like, there's been so much contradictory misinformation floating around that I think spending a lot of time saying, okay, this guy said this guy said that, probably not the best use of time right now, because there's definitely a vested interest that every single team should have in misleading people as much as possible, and that includes us, unfortunately. So I probably will make a video like that. Understand, though, that words are just words. Actions are what matter at the end of the day. All right. So other than that, it's pretty straightforward to the rest of the month. The next 3 days are going to be all about the draft. I am going to be doing one thing that's going to be, we did this last year, but we're going to do it again, is we're going to do after party streams with the Hawk's Nest, alternating channels after day 1 and day 2. Like, after round 1 and after round 3, me and the Hawk's Nest are going to do the after show. It might be a really short stream, but we're going to stream together to talk about what happened on that day. And then we're obviously, after day 3, we're not going to stream because day 3 is going to be such a long stream and we want to see what happens with UDFA anyway. But we're probably going to do a day 3 stream roundup the next day. So the last day of the draft is Saturday, so sometime on Sunday, we're going to stream together to talk about day 3 and UDFA stuff. And then that gets us basically to the end of the month. So that's what's coming over the next week. And it should be a lot of fun. I'm excited for it. I'm pretty Feeling pretty good about the plan, feeling pretty good about where we're going. Yeah, that's really about it in terms of future plans. So a couple more notes here. Most of you probably already are aware of this, but I thought I'd go ahead and let everybody know. I added a few things to the channel. First of all, we have a new membership level. We have a new membership level on the channel. Before, we only had basic and elite. There's a third level now called Ring of Honor. It's $15 a month, so it's $10 more than elite. But if you upgrade to it, you get access to community posts that I will be making that only Ring of Honor members can see. And these community posts are going to contain links to bonus content, like documents. For instance, that's how I posted my big board. My big board is viewable through these community posts. So if you become a Ring of Honor member, you'll be able to see my full big board, 253 players ranked from favorite to least favorite. So if that's something that intrigues you, I know that's something that's only going to intrigue a relatively small percentage of people because it's a, 253 players is a lot, and a lot of people aren't going to get a ton out of that. They just want to see like maybe the top 20, 30 at most. Some people even only the top 10. But there are going to be other things that I publish via that method going down the line. We'll probably do something like, just as an example, free agent big boards next year during free agency. I might do some long form analysis documents as well, things that don't lend themselves well to videos. Now, it's going to be hard for me to commit to doing consistent content because it's really hard to know when I'll be able to put something together that's actually good for that format. Because if I can make a video about it, I want to make a video about it, understand that. Now, you also gain access to all the previous perks from the previous two levels, of course. And also, another thing I added to the channel is the Patreon. I now have a Patreon. If you do !Patreon in the chat, you will see the link. You can click on it and you can sub to the Patreon. If you pledge at a $10 a month or more level, you gain access to those same documents. You'll get access to posts that have the documents as downloadable files, text files, doc files, PDF files, whatever you want. So if you pledge to the Patreon $10 or more, that's the other way to get access to those docs. You can also pledge to the Patreon just because that's the way you want to support. Basically, I'm trying to give people as many different ways as possible to support if they want to, but they don't like a certain method. Like, there are definitely going to be people out there who like, I want to support you, but I don't want to do it through YouTube because of fees. I don't want to do it through Twitch because of fees. I don't want to do it through the tips page because you can only use, I think, a credit card. So Patreon's basically just another way to do it. I think you can just use PayPal through Patreon. So that's going to provide a method of support for people who didn't want to tip and didn't want to go through YouTube or Twitch, basically. That's really about it in terms of the main news. That's what's coming up on the channel. Those are some of the things I added. Finally added that third level membership goal that YouTube's been yelling at me to add. Yeah, that's really about it. Let's see here. I'm looking at the chat here right now to see if anybody has something they want to get addressed. Make YouTube membership. I did. I added it as a YouTube membership perk as well. You just have to become a level 3 perk. Level 3 member. Yeah. Is it realistic that Richardson lands at 20? There's no way. There's no way. I don't buy it at all. Some people are going to cite Malik Willis as like evidence that something like that can happen, but it's completely different. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I'm not feeling that one. Do you think the Seahawks aren't due for a uni refresh? I think our uniforms are fine. Why mess with it? You can add like the retro jerseys for a couple games a year, but I like our jerseys fine. I don't think they need to be changed. I'm happy with our current jerseys. I think there was one other thing I wanted to briefly touch on here. I think there was one other thing I wanted to talk about here. Shoot, I can't remember what it is. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is only going to intrigue a subset of my viewership. I know that. Not a huge subset. But tonight on Twitch, I'm planning on beating Horizon Forbidden West finally. The game's been kind of dragging on for a while now. Some really obnoxious mechanics. But I should be finishing it tonight. So if you want to watch me finish Horizon Forbidden West, tune in tonight. Should be going live after the Mariners game. Other than that, I just want people to know that I am going through Elden Ring now. I'm planning to blitz Elden Ring like crazy over the next week. Try to get as close to the end as I can. Maybe even beat the game before the draft. I don't know if it's realistic at this point, but I am going to blitz Elden Ring as hard as I can. And then at the end of the month, we get Jedi Survivor, and I am going to get it at launch and stream it at launch. So if you want to watch me play Jedi Survivor, sub on Twitch. I will say this. I'm starting to get a little bit worried that Twitch is a sinking ship, and I'm looking at other options. I could come back to YouTube to stream games. I could go to Kick. I am considering that stuff right now. There are some concerns I have with Twitch right now. If anybody has any strong takes on that, let me know. But I am starting to wonder if Twitch is a little bit of a sinking ship here. There's a lot of negative signs going on with Twitch at the moment. And a place like Kick, I could get in almost at the ground level, and it sounds like they're much kinder to their content creators. And even YouTube, I think, is starting to really head in the right direction on game streaming. Empower Code, thank you for the $10 super chat. Appreciate the support. Draft season is here. Cheers, Brendo. Go Hawks. I mean, it's been here for a month as far as I'm concerned because I've been talking about it nonstop here. So, I mean, I feel like it's been here for a while, but this is when everybody starts to really care. Like, I can't remember what my record is for most viewers on a stream at once. It was probably last year during the draft. But I am sure we are going to break that record this year because everybody wants to know what we do at 5. It's the best pick we've had in a long time. Where did I read Jamal and Jordan will be ready for the training camp? It says Del Aki. I think that's very... that reminds me of John Lynch coming out and saying, oh yeah, Brock Purdy will be ready for the start of the season. No problem. It's a 6-month injury. And then everyone else said it's a 1-year injury. And then even Brock Purdy himself comes out and is like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to play football this year, man. And it's like, yeah, I mean, probably shouldn't. Yeah, just tags. That's what I would do. I wouldn't stream video games on this channel. What I might do is stream certain games on this channel, like Use Your Words, things that are like for a big community, and Jackbox Party Pack, but I wouldn't stream day-to-day games here for sure. I would definitely make a new channel for that. Taker610, thank you for the $2. Stroud could be there at 5. If so, still Carter. That's a good question, man. I think... Look, I would say Stroud, but our defensive line is so bad, I have to say Carter. It's not that I love Carter. It's really not. I don't love Carter. I'm actually have some genuine concerns about him. But our defensive line is so bad, I feel like we have to. So it's just one of those things where, unfortunately, the team did a not good job addressing the defensive line in free agency. So therefore, I have to be willing to take the risk on Carter. If we had a better defensive line, like let's say we had Draymond Jones, Zach Allen, Shelby Harris, and Jaron Reed, and those were our 4 defensive linemen, I would probably say Stroud. And that's a sucky situation to be, but I do acknowledge that Jalen Carter is probably, in a vacuum, a top 3 player in this draft. Oh, I agree, Nugash, but CJ Stroud's like 20. Him having to sit for 2 years is not the end of the world. If Stroud sits for 2 years, that's reasonable. That's very different than a guy like Levis sitting for 2 years. If Levis sits for 2 years, he'll be 26 before he plays. That's a problem. How real is the buzz that Texans want to trade down, and if not, they take Anderson? I don't really buy it. It's possible, but I don't think it's realistic. How do you feel about Tyree at 5 now? I would be okay with it. I wouldn't love it. I'd be like, meh. It's like a a pick. It's like, you pass. I'm not upset, but I have concerns. Stroud or Carter at 5? If our defensive line didn't suck, I would say Stroud, but our defensive line is terrible, so I have to say Carter. If we had done a better job addressing, actually just said this, Grug, but if we had a good defensive line, I would say Stroud. Tyree's situation is the exact same as last year with Hutchinson and Travon Walker. Not quite, Newgash. Last year, Travon Walker launched up to number 1 because he tested so well. He tested freakishly well. Hutch did not test because he was hurt. So where is this coming from? It seems like this is just kind of coming from a place of complete randomness where I don't know. I don't know what it is. It feels like it's just, it reminds me of like when Ryan Tannehill became a top 15 pick out of nowhere because they needed another quarterback to talk about. What are your thoughts on Brock Huard's take that we should use our 5th, 5, and 20 picks to move up if possible to get Anderson? I don't want to move up. I have no interest in that. And Schneider doesn't do that kind of stuff anyway. I'm not interested in moving up for anybody in this draft. Nobody in this draft is Andrew Luck. Nobody in this draft is Trevor Lawrence. Those are guys you move up for. I'm not moving up for anybody in this draft. Maybe next year I would move up for Caleb Williams because I really like him, but I'm not moving up for anybody in this draft. If you're going to move up, it better be for like a golden prospect. I'm not moving up for anybody in this class. Nobody is that good. I'd move up for Joe Burrow, guys like that. Move back to 9, get an additional second rounder, then maybe get Tyree. I would like that. I'm okay with it. I'm not against it. Heard Hawks might go back to 4-3 defense from LOB days. What's your thoughts? That's not going to happen. That doesn't make any sense. If it happens, it's dumb. Is Anderson as good as Bosa? No. Bosa was a different level. Bosa was on a different level from Anderson. But, guys, think about it like this. Look at our defense. Look at the players on our defense. Look at the guys we added in the offseason. Draymond Jones played his whole career in the 3-4. Jaron Reed last year played in a 3-4. Devin Bush played his whole career in a 3-4. Even Bobby Wagner played his whole career in a 3-4. Okay? All these guys been playing in 3-4s. Look at the other guys, the guys that are like moving over from previous years. Boye Mafe, clearly better in a 3-4. Nwosu has played his whole career in a 3-4. Maybe you're helping Darrell Taylor a little bit, but Jamal Adams clearly better for a 3-4. So why are you going to go back to a 4-3 when all of your personnel is all about clearly being better fits in a 3-4? Like, that's something you maybe could have done in the offseason. You could have made that determination and then signed guys for the 4-3. But now you're going to do it after you signed a bunch of guys who are clearly better fits for a 3-4 defense? Doesn't make any sense to me. And guys, it's Richard Sherman's podcast, all right? He just says stuff. It's not going to be completely vetted. It's not going to be completely believable or accurate. It's just, he says stuff. But I don't know what I don't see us going back to a 4-3. We could go to the hybrid and do both. But why would you sign Draymond Jones and then switch to a 4-3? Draymond Jones has spent his whole career in a 3-4. So if we do it, I actually think it's a bad idea. It's too late. Should have made that determination before free agency and then signed free agents for that defense. Who's the best DL edge prospect at 5 besides Carter and Anderson? I like Cansey. And Nwosu, by the way, maybe our best overall defensive player, has spent his whole career in a 3-4. What does he do in a 4-3? How's that going to work? I'm just not seeing it come together in a way that makes sense. I could see us doing the hybrid. I'd love the hybrid, by the way. Add some complexities to the defense. I mean, here's the thing. We were starting to slowly incorporate some 3-4 stuff the last 3 years before we committed to it full time. But no, I don't think we're going back to the old defense. James Warren, can you prove this statement? Like, I hear you saying that Dre'Mont Jones can easily play both. He can play 4-eye or 3-tech or 5-tech, but he hasn't done it before, has he? Like, he spent his whole career in a 3-4. I understand that theoretically he can do it, but that's just a theory. You have no reason to believe that he can do it because he hasn't done it before. Not in the NFL. He spent his whole career in a 3-4 defense, just like Nwosu has. Yeah, well, Jaron Reed has played as a 4-3, but last year he played in a 3-4, and I think a 3-4 is probably better for him right now. Can Tyree Wilson play 3-4? That's what people are trying to figure out. I think he would need to add weight. I think he would need to add weight, but he could probably be like an inside defensive lineman. He could be like a J.J. Watt. I think that's the role he would basically play. Will Anderson is excellent against the run. Will Anderson is elite against the run. In fact, he's much better against the run than the pass. That's the criticism that some people have of him. Yeah, but James Warren, can he do it every snap? There are definitely guys out there. Like, if you get Adipatore from Northwestern, you can probably line him up at edge every now and then, but I don't think you're going to do it every snap. I think you're going to have to mix it up a little bit. Is he going to be able to hold up if you run it 30 times a game? I don't know. And again, if you're going to do it, why don't you sign guys in the offseason that have proven they can do it instead of guys who have only played in one defense in the base 3-4 their whole career, like Dre'Mont Jones? Yeah, Job VFX. I know he's lined up at every position in college, Tyree, but he's got no bend, so I don't think he'll work well on the edge in a 3-4. He's got no bend. He is not a speed rusher. He can't win with speed that well. Like, that's the thing. If he tested and then he tested like a freak, like if he tested and ran like a 4.45 40 or something, then I would understand the hype, but that hasn't happened. Yeah, we do need to move money around to pay all the rookies. We're going to have to move a little money around. Not a ton. Wow, this ump is a prick. Wow. Well, Ja VFX, if he did run that, then that would change things, but I don't see that kind of speed on the tape. I'm not seeing it. I like him a lot, but I like him in the way that I like J.J. Watt, not the way that I like Myles Garrett. I think that that's probably what he will end up doing in the NFL. I feel like Tyree ends up playing on the inside in the NFL personally. I just do. That just feels right to me. Wait, the Rangers lost? How did the Rangers lose? They went up 4-0 before they even had an out recorded on them. Yeah, I still like Tyree. Um, I just at 5, it's kind of meh. Yeah, Tyree's last recorded 40 time is 4.82. Like he's not a speed rusher. There's no way he'll ever be able to win with speed. He's a power guy. That's why he needs to move inside and play like JJ Watt. If he moves inside and plays like JJ Watt, I think he'll be awesome. I mean, Tyree's playing weight was like 275. So if he adds like 10 pounds, it should be right there. Now, there's no guarantee, but I'm not completely against it. Yeah, I have no problem with Christian Gonzalez at 5. Christian Gonzalez at 5, I would be fine with. He's a beast. The DL need plus 2022 tape has shown me sold me on Carter concerning yes potential to be best player in the class. Oh, I agree with all that, Carson. Thank you for the member message, by the way. I completely agree. The problems with Carter don't have a ton to do with his tape. They have more to do with will he be able to realize his full potential. Witherspoon better? Witherspoon would be better if we run more man. I just don't know if we will. That's hard to know. If we're going to play zone, I think that Gonzalez is going to be better. And the thing is, Gonzalez is scheme flexible. Like, you have Gonzalez in man or zone, I think he'll be fine. Well, Nugash, what if those off-field issues mean he can't get on the field? That's the concern. Like, yeah, we can say I don't care about off-field issues that much. I don't. But those off-field issues could become something that keep him from getting on the field. And in that case, we have to care. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't think Cansey's going to be there at 20. And some people are saying they think Cansey's only good in a 4-3. I don't know if I buy it. It's possible. I mean, Aaron Donald was good in the 3-4. Does the alleged Witherspoon interest indicate a desire to do more man coverage stuff? I don't think so. I think we want to see if he can play zone. It's not like he can't. It's just he played mostly man in college. We're trying to figure out what's going on there. What college did Witherspoon play for again, by the way? Was that... He didn't play for Illinois, did he? Who was he on? Why can't I not remember this all of a sudden? Was it Illinois? Okay. Illinois, okay. You know, Illinois had the best defense in the league last year. They allowed like less than 13 points per game. And they didn't really have anybody in their front seven who's highly touted in this draft. It's all secondary guys. They have two safeties and a corner, and their nose tackle is kind of interesting, Calvin Avery, and that's it. So I don't know how they did it. VFX, I have no problem with Stroud at 5. I think Stroud's going to be a really good pro. I'm not worried about the test. It's a test, okay? It's a test on a piece of paper. I'm not really that worried about it. Dude, this ump needs to get the crap kicked out of him. My God. Taker, thank you for the $2. Anyone worth trading up for from 20? If you like Cansey, maybe Cansey. If Skoronsky falls a little bit, maybe him. Uh, maybe Brian Bresee. I don't think you need to, though. I don't think you need to. You just sit there and you can get Nolan Smith or Trenton Simpson or maybe even Bijan or Miles Murphy. Who is Stroud's pro comparison? He's like rich man's Jared Goff. He's Jared Goff with a better arm and a little more potential mobility. I'm seeing more mock showing us taking mock Mouch in the second. What do you think of that? I'd be all right with it. I think Mock is going to be really good. I like Cody. Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if Stroud can throw on the run the way Rodgers can. I look at Stroud and I see like rich man's Jared Goff. Hawks Nest keeps saying Joe Montana, but I don't want to say that because I know that when you compare somebody to Joe Montana, people they all of a sudden go like, "Oh, you're saying that." And I don't want to convey the wrong thing here. I don't want people to think I think he's going to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Dennis McComber, thank you for the $5. Did you see Richard Sherman's podcast with Gino? Sherm said he heard Hawks were going back to the old scheme. Yeah, I did. I'm not seeing it. Wow. Dude. Suarez, turn around, use your bat, beat the crud out of this ump. Oh my god. What a jackass. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not buying it. In fact, Pete specifically said they're not going to change their scheme earlier this offseason, and we signed a bunch of guys who have more 3-4, meaningful 3-4 experience. So, like, if you switch back to a 4-3, what do you do with Nwosu? What do you do with Mafe? What do you do with even Jamal Adams, honestly? What do you do with Draymond Jones? What do you do with... Guys like Jaron Reed are probably better in a 3-4. There's Devin Bush, too. Like, these are all 3-4 guys. And by the way, you still have Clint Hurd as your DC, a Fangio disciple. Thoughts on Stroud's score? I don't really care about it that much. It's a test. Yeah, if you're going to go back to the old defense, then get rid of Clint Hurt. Go get another defensive coordinator who runs a 4-3. Chad Hart. So let me get this straight. I can still stay a member of Elite without joining on Patreon? Yeah, it's completely up to you, Chad. It's completely up to you. If you want to move your support of me from YouTube to Patreon, like you want to stop being a member, but you want to sub on the Patreon, you can do that. If you want to stay here and just upgrade your membership to Ring of Honor, you can do that. It's totally up to you. Or you don't have to support at all. It's completely optional. Yeah, exactly, Upo. I don't want to do the Joe Montana comparison because when you say that, I think people start thinking about it in the wrong way. They're like, ooh, Joe Montana. Oh, you must think he's the greatest quarterback ever. But yeah, Chad, Patreon and YouTube are completely separate from each other. You can support one or both or none. You don't have to support one and then support the other, or supporting this means it's all separate. The Seahawks schedule has not come out. We know who we're going to play. We just don't know the order. Hey, Raggy, what's up? I would rather take Washington at 37. If Washington's there at 37, that is incredibly sexy. I don't think we know the order of who we're going to play yet, Zerxit is. Stroud reminds me of Joe Burrow in a way. He's not as good as Burrow, but it's not that absurd. That was one mock draft to Rick Youngburner that had us taking Hendon Hooker at 5. And there's always going to be terrible mocks. They're making so many of them. Some are going to be awful. Like, think about this. Some people have forgotten this. Last year we had a mock draft that had us trading up to 4 and taking Matt Corral. Did Matt Corral even go day 2? I don't remember. But this is what mock drafts do. I'm going to be honest, I'd rather have Stroud over Bryce Young. Me too. Absolutely. I'm a believer in Stroud. How about Gibbs in the later second? I would be all over Gibbs in the later second. He would be a little redundant, but he's a really good player. If Gibbs is there in the late second, I think you have to do it. The value's crazy. I think best current guy that compares to Stroud is Geno first half of last season. That's actually not bad. Who's your wish at 5? Probably Will Anderson. I think he's the best player in the draft. And even if he's not, I think the fact that he's such a safe bet makes him superior to guys like Carter. Like, you know what you're getting with Anderson. 99% of the time you're getting a Pro Bowl caliber pass rusher for the next decade plus. Um, Carter could be that, or there's a big downside with him that I think some people are not really confronting appropriately, but it's there. Anderson actually fits a 3-4 better than Carter does, for whatever that's worth. Now, obviously, Carter fills a bigger need, but I think that it's really close who's the better player between the two. Like, it's not like Carter was cooking fools at Georgia. Like, yeah, I know Georgia's defense is not about numbers, but we're talking about a guy who has 6 sacks in 2 seasons for Georgia's defense. Like, this is not Reggie White we're talking about here. I think some people have gone a little crazy with the Jalen Carter stuff, and they forget that there are some legitimate problems on his resume, not just the off-field stuff. I mean, Will Anderson is not a generational edge prospect. He's not. He's definitely not. He's on the next tier. He's not as good as guys like Bosa, Garrett, Von Miller, but he's probably better than a guy like an Aldon Smith. And Aldon Smith went 5 overall, and the Niners were totally happy with that until you know what I'm talking about. Favorite brother duos in sports? I like the Upton brothers. Come on, Teoscar, don't swing at that garbage. How do you feel about Benton? I really like Benton. Benton's awesome. In fact, I think Benton is like the perfect second round pick for us if we don't get Mozzie. Yes, there's going to be a final mock draft in the next few days here. Yeah, Calvin Avery. I actually am going to talk about him briefly in a video in a couple of days. Michael, I'm aware of him. He was the Illinois nose tackle, and Illinois had the best defense in the country this year. I mean, he's not super exciting or anything, but there is something interesting there. I wouldn't hate picking him up as a UDFA. I do like the Kelsey brothers. Charlie Jones is one of my favorite receivers in this draft. I do like Charlie Jones. Whoa, whoa. He reaches. All right, Teoscar. I haven't looked at the tackles in this draft that much, Brock Evil. I believe Avery makes it UDFA. He's barely on the big boards. He's barely on the big boards. It's possible, but you could also possibly. I think it's possible you get him UDFA. I wouldn't be shocked. Who's the DL from Georgia Tech? Keon White? I don't know if he fits a 3-4. Well, I don't have a huge problem with AJ Pollock. I think Pollock's a pretty good batter. It's been a little bit of a slow start, but all right, there we go. I think Pollock's a good player. I do. Did he clear the bases? Or okay, 2. The Zendajas brothers? I'm not too familiar with those ones, Michael. Yeah, Pollock's DHing. I think Pollock's good. I know he's off to a little bit of a slow start. I'm not worried about it the way I am with Wong, the way I am with some of these other players. Do you think the offense takes a step forward this year or stays the same? I mean, last year it was a good offense. It was a top 10 offense. I think it'll be top 10 again, but I don't think it's going to move up from that. Oh, really? Okay, I see, Dave. I see, David. That's funny. Wow, that was the worst throw ever. All right. Kelnick gets it done. Anyway. Oh, yeah, Brandon. That's why I keep saying if Tyree comes to the NFL, he's probably going to end up as an edge rusher. Not an edge rusher, an inside rusher, like a J.J. Watt. O-line will be much better. Hmm. I mean, let me think. I mean, I don't know, man. It's gonna it's gonna be better. I don't know if it's gonna be hyper elite. Like the center's better, but not great. Right guard is probably gonna be about the same. Left guard's gonna be about the same. Tackles hopefully get better. Yeah. If we take Richardson and he somehow shines in the preseason, is there some chance he's the starter? I don't think so. That would be getting way ahead of yourself. Oh, oh, I thought maybe Murphy caught that. Okay. Hey, Mask, how you doing? Oh, Mask. If you, I know you were talking a little bit earlier about the draft stream thumbnails. If you get me those, I'll just you can get me those whenever, and I'll just put the streams up as like a scheduled stream for the actual draft. So if you get those to me, I'll go ahead and just get those streams up. Just like, do a day 1, day 2, day 3. Should be pretty self-explanatory. Taker610, thank you for the $2. If you were SFGM, where are you at with Lance? I asked Shanahan what he thinks, and then I do what Shanahan wants. Like, I like Lance. I think Lance is going to be good. I am a supporter of Trey Lance in terms of the objective belief that he will be a good quarterback. But if Shanahan wants a traditional drop back quarterback, then I think you give the man what he wants. Yes, Sean K. The stream should be basically what it was last year. Would Tyree be your least favorite pick for our first selection? No, definitely not, Brandon. If not, who? Um, Probably somebody like Witherspoon. I wouldn't be too excited about Witherspoon, although I might be able to talk myself into it eventually. Like, Witherspoon to me might end up playing a slot corner, and I'm not spending a top 5 pick on a slot corner. Nolan Smith would not be okay at 5. I guess Bryce Young, although there's no way Bryce Young is going to be there, so who cares? Gino should get better if we get a better line and a third receiver. That's the thing. We don't have a third receiver right now. And yeah, there are some interesting guys in the draft, but there's no guarantee. Van Ness would be bad, yeah. I'm strongly against Van Ness. I'm starting to think that's not realistic, but it's got to at least be on the table. Oh, we're pulling Kirby? He's only at 86 pitches. Come on. Whatever. If we draft Skoronski, Whippler, and Zavala for OL, I don't think Whippler would start year 1. I think we'd bench him for a year and start him year 2 for whatever that's worth. Honestly, at the end of the day, I don't think Pete has it in him to spend a first round pick on a corner. I don't think that's his style. I don't think that's how he does things. I don't think that's how he handles things. Sean K. Bryce Young is fantastic, except he's too small. And I'm sorry, the size is a problem. It's an issue. It's 100% an issue. And people are trying to blow it off like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. I think it is a pretty big deal. I'm not thinking that that's just something that you can get past. Like everything about Young is great, except for the fact that he's going to get injured too much, just like Tua is. Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem taking a corner at 5. It just has to be a corner that I like Christian Gonzalez. But I don't think Pete would do it. I don't think John would do it. We've proven we don't need to. I mean, if you go Tariq Woolen, and um, Christian Gonzalez is your two outside corners. Like, receivers are going to be miserable. He showed willingness to take a cornerback early. The earliest corner he's ever taken is Shaq Griffin. I want a receiver at 20 like Jordan. If we're going to take a receiver at 20, I think Jordan Addison is my favorite. I don't know if I feel like he's worth 20, though. I feel like you could get somewhat similar value out of Marvin Mims in the third. Tariq is not good. Zerg said, what the hell are you talking about? They won't pass, just run over us again? Well, yeah, you're going to have to do other things to address that issue, of course, but your pass defense is going to be on lock. I don't want a slot receiver at 20. Ooh, very nice. Ty France, let's go. If we draft Skoronski, Whippler, and Zavala for OL, and can't see Mozzie and Benton for DL, how would our report improve? I mean, that would be massive, but we're not going to get all those guys. Mims or Dell are the real deal at wide receiver. I like Mims a lot. Dell, I don't know. He's so small, but I do like him. I also really like Charlie Jones. Charlie Jones has started to win me over. There are a couple other slot guys that are nice in this draft. Thoughts on JSN? I mean, he's good. I just don't like him that much, personally. Not enough to take him at 20, which is what you'd have to do. I like Zay Flowers. At 37, yeah, I would do it, but God, there are problems with him, man. There are problems with him. Like, here's the thing. Yeah, he does remind you of Lockett, but Lockett has had to work really, really hard to overcome his shortcomings as a player. The fact that he's so small and still plays on the outside. There's no guarantee that Zay Flowers can do that just because Lockett did it. Zerxit is, go look at his coverage numbers on PFF and PFR. You're wrong. I'm sorry, dude. You're just wrong. If you actually think that you're, I don't know, you're watching games, you watched football last year on Madden, and it was like a simulation of the season, you didn't watch the actual games. Sorry, you just didn't. If you actually think this, you were watching Madden simulations of games last year and not the actual games. Also, Lockett had Baldwin to mentor him. Zay is going to struggle for a while. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Just because Lockett overcame his shortcomings as a player, like his size, doesn't mean Zay Flowers well. I feel like the better way to invest at receiver would be like the third round with Marvin Mims or Charlie Jones, somebody like that. I really like those guys. Even a guy like Nathaniel Dell in the third round would be okay. There are a few other guys I really like at receiver too. Maybe Bryce Ford Wheaton, although he's not a slot guy. If Mozzie's there at 37, I think he's worth picking there. You gave up on Eskridge? I kind of did, King Sosa. All right. I got enough subscribers on this channel. I don't need to have dumb weirdos on this channel. Ooh. Caballero with the single. Let's go. Yeah, Derek Youngburner, I agree. I mean, I like Rashee Rice too, Upo. Although I talked about it with Hawksnest, he doesn't like him very much at all. I like Rashee Rice a lot. Very intriguing. Yeah, Chris Rodriguez Jr. You could get him in the 6th round, right? Chris Rodriguez Jr. You could get him in like the 6th round, and that'd be nice. I think he would immediately contribute significantly. Yeah, I like Jaden Reed, Jesus Garcia. 4th round, maybe the 3rd, but probably the 4th. Jaden Reed's totally cool. I think he would be ready to go. What you doing at 20 from Minnesota? You guys taking Richardson? Richardson's not going to be there at 20. Yeah. I've been far more liberal with my ban button lately. I've been slamming down on the ban button more lately. I'm just losing my tolerance for people who just come here to act like jackasses. Does JL Skinner have injury concerns? Yeah, especially because he got hurt and he's hurt right now. Taker610, thank you for the $2. How far would our 2 first seconds get us into the first? You could probably get up to like the mid-late first, but you don't need to. Just don't do it. There are good players in that part of the draft. You don't need to trade up. I would only try to get another first-round pick if you trade down a little bit from the 5 pick. I believe every receiver projected in the first 2 rounds are overrated except Mims and maybe Rice. I haven't seen Mims in the second round. I see him always in the third. I would take him in the second, probably. I like him enough. But I'm not seeing him in the top 2 rounds yet. I asked Hawksness how he'd rank Woolen among all cornerbacks, and he put him 2 behind Surtain. That seems reasonable to me. Surtain wasn't playing well at the end of the year, but I think everyone kind of gave up on Denver. Yeah, that's the monkey wrench here. If the Texans trade for Trey Lance... Where do you have Abattoir? He's like just outside the first round for me. I like him. But he's another guy who's going to have to probably move inside because he's so big. Or he's going to have to at least play a decent number of snaps on the inside. No guarantee that it'll work out. Yeah, I don't buy the Will Anderson thing unless they do something like trade for Trey Lance. If they trade for Trey Lance, that makes things a little interesting. Where would you put Sauce? Oh, man, I don't know. He's definitely top 5 or 6 based off result. But, like, the moment he stops getting so much love from the NFL in a way that is completely ridiculous, he's just going to be a good corner who desperately needs to change his play style. I think the secondary will be good. I'm not too worried about it. Okay. Yeah, I'm a Roshan Johnson fan. I wouldn't even mind taking him in the third because I like him. But right now, it seems like he's usually projected to go fourth. All right, guys. So, stream's been on for about an hour. And I mean, everything works. So, we should be ready to go for the mock draft party and the draft day streams. I'll go for a little bit longer because I can't get on Horizon yet anyway because the Mariners game is still on. But we are at about an hour at this point, so it will probably end fairly soon, just so you guys know. Thoughts on Julius Brents? I like him, but I think he's getting overrated. Like, he's got a ton to work on. Score, it's 5-2 Mariners. Brandon, thank you for the member message. Member for 11 months. Chance of Cards trade back. I think it's pretty high. I think the Cardinals will trade back. I don't think the Texans will, but I think the Cardinals will. It's the bottom of the 7th, and Julio's coming up with 2 on, no out. So could play out on here a little bit. Can you explain Roshan in NFL terms? He's Chris Carson. He tested almost identically to Chris Carson. He's basically Chris Carson without the injuries. And I guess without the fumbles, if you consider Carson a big-time fumbler, which he only was for like 1 season. But he's Chris Carson without the injuries. It's not his fault he was stuck behind the best running back in college football. Do you like the Cardinal jersey changes? They look pretty boring. I don't like them that much. But I don't really care that much. It's their problem, not mine. Second, guys, there's a fly on the wall. I'm going to try to get him. 1 second. I'll be right back. Oh, I thought that was going to sneak through the infield. 1 second, guys. I got to kill this fly. Oh, you son of a bitch. What the heck is going on? Upo, thank you for the $5 super chat. Rashee Rice was an offensive beast on a team with no other offensive threats, no quarterback, running back, and bad O-line. Rashee Rice on Oregon is a Heisman candidate. I think there is some truth to that. I think that it has to be said. Although that's what people said about... Shoot. What was the guy's name on Jalen Reagor? People said that about Jalen Reagor. Dude, what is up with Ty France? What is up with Ty France tonight? Every at-bat has been atrocious. Horrible at-bats every time. He's probably left like 3 runs on the board by himself. By not even being average. Come on, Ty France. With our back end of the lineup being as bad as it is, we can't deal with this shit. We can't have it. Rashee Rice can do both. That's why part of the reason why I like him so much, T-Man. Rashee Rice can play slot and outside. Yeah, I talked about Zavala in my videos a couple weeks ago. Thoughts on the best episode of Breaking Bad, Fly? I didn't like it that much. I don't think it's the best episode. I'm not a big fan. I mean, I get it. I get the appeal, but not for me. Not for me. So, on at least one day of the stream, the draft stream, at least on one day of the draft stream, possibly 2, but at least 1, I'm going to have to go get something to eat before the stream starts and probably eat on stream. So, what should I get? What are you guys thinking? Thank you, C-Man. Because, like, I think last year I did Arby's. I usually do Arby's because I do like Arby's a lot. But I'm thinking about trying something new this year as kind of like part of the draft day celebration. Like, what if I... Has anybody in here had A&W? I've never eaten at A&W before, but is A&W good? What's your go-to at Arby's? I just get the roast beef sandwich. I used to love potato cakes, but they got rid of fucking potato cakes. So I like mozzarella sticks. Those are awesome. Yeah, I might do Five Guys, but here's the thing. Five Guys, there are no sides. Yeah, I've heard a rumor that A&W does stuff in like a microwave, and if that's the case, then I'm not interested. But like, they have a lot of sides. I was looking at the menu on A&W online, and I was like, they even do like these little corn dog bites. I was like, oh, okay, these guys actually have legitimate sides. But I want to do something good because it's draft day. Can I get Red Lobster delivered? Like, I'm not going to be able to eat, you know. I thought Red Lobster was a sit down restaurant. I don't think we have a Portillo's. I thought Red Lobster was like a sit down restaurant. How am I going to get the food here? I don't think I've ever had Red Lobster now that I think about it. You can get anything delivered? Yeah, but is it going to be good? If it's like seafood, that might not deliver well. No, I don't want to get Hendon Hooker until the 3rd round, maybe. Oh, yeah, Tired Canadian. I love Arby's. I get Arby's every now and then. And that's an option. I may get Arby's on draft day. Like, they have a good amount of sides. No, I don't like Tanner McKee at all. He's like Tanner McKee is like Kerry Collins. Yeah, I'm a big Arby's fan, don't get me wrong. But I get Arby's all the time. I'm thinking maybe I try something new here. Something that I haven't had before. Now, I get Popeyes all the time. And I like Popeyes a lot, but I don't like the sides that much. Like, Popeyes fries are not that good. So, I'm not a huge fan. Tupa. Like, I don't want to do Chick-fil-A because I do Chick-fil-A not all the time, but I do it a good amount of the time. I'm used to having Chick-fil-A, and they don't have a lot of sides. I've never had Hawaiian BBQ. That's interesting. I don't think we have a Culver's. KFC fries are underrated. I don't hate KFC as much as I used to, but it used to be better. I remember when I was young. I mean, okay, I sound like a boomer now. Like everything's better when you were younger. Like Pizza Hut used to be awesome, and now it's garbage. Domino's has gotten better. I love French dips, but I usually have French dips in a sit-down restaurant. Like there's a place that opened up very recently, kind of close to me. Don't ask me what the name is. I'm not going to tell any of you weirdos. But they have steaks, which I haven't had a lot of lately, and they also have a French prime rib French dip, which I'm going to try next time I go. Yes, 1, 2, 3 inning. Heart Attack Grill. I was at Vegas a few months ago, but I did not go to the Heart Attack Grill. Oh, Red Lobster does have a delivery menu. I kind of want to do something with a wide variety of like sides. That's why I don't want to do Five Guys. As much as I like Five Guys, it's like you get the burger, you get the fries, and that's it. They don't have anything else. I want to do like a variety of sides. Cheesecake Factory? No. I don't live close enough to a cheesecake factory. The food would not be that good by the time I get home. JSD probably. Last year was good. This is probably better. So I'm gonna have to just think about it. I might try A&W for the first time ever, but I need to look into it a little bit to see if it's actually like made in microwaves and crap. If they actually like, if it's like Burger King or something where they do stuff in a microwave, like I don't need to do that. Five Guys Wild for making one hot dog $10. Yeah, I mean, look, when I go out to eat, I don't think that much about the cost. I'm just like, I want good food. If I have to pay more, I pay more. It's not the end of the world. What does Red Lobster have? Let me take a look at the Red Lobster menu. I actually don't really know what kind of stuff they have. Okay, they got a cod sandwich, chicken sandwich, bacon cheeseburger, wagyu, beef wagyu. Okay. They got some like salad bowl type things, chicken tenders. They actually have more things than I thought. I thought they were only like seafood. Oh yeah, I love Spaghetti Factory. I love Spaghetti Factory. I'm not that impressed with the sides though. I'm looking at the Red Lobster sides. They got biscuits. I've heard the Cheddar Bay biscuits are good. They have the sea salted fries, but everything else is like this is stuff I eat in a sit down restaurant, not a fast food place. Like I'm not getting a baked potato from a fast food place. All right, guys. We went 10 minutes overtime, but I think we satisfied doing everything that we need to do here. The stream works. All my stuff works. So tomorrow we're going to have some more safety videos. I am going to be streaming with the Hawk's Nest tomorrow on his channel. We're going to talk about defensive backs. And then we're going to wrap up the draft evaluations, and then we're going to be right there. So thank you for coming out and chilling with me for an hour plus. I'm going to watch the end of this Mariners game. I will be live on Twitch tonight. I will be live doing Horizon Forbidden West, trying to beat the game. And I should be able to. I have plenty of time. I have one story mission left. I need to get like 1 or 2 more levels. So hopefully I'll be able to wrap that up. And then for the rest of the week, I'm blitzing Elden Ring like crazy. All right. So hope to see you guys on Twitch tonight. Thank you. Go Hawks. And appreciate all the support. Appreciate your viewership.